Jill and Rocky to share kind of their business testimony because, and it's not going to be long. Right, Carrie, maybe you can't be.
Are you going to call me out like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Jill, people know that Jill kind of works for me. She doesn't work for me, you know, full-time by any means, but she's really been a big help to me. And recently, unfortunately, Jill can no longer work for me. And the reason she can no longer work for me is because she's more than doubled her income in the past month, you know, with Plexus. And so she really can't afford to work for me anymore. And so that's why I personally know how much Jill has just completely, not that she didn't work before, but she's just got such a good grasp on this business now and nothing's going to stop her. Same thing for Rocky. Rocky, I've told her, the reason I wanted her to share is because I know when somebody's got it, like they've got it and it's solid, and so the only thing between them and that jewel status is it's just a matter of time. And I know that that's true for Rocky. And so that's why I wanted them to share. I don't know if you guys talked about who's...
Okay. All right. It's going to be really hard to follow Lori and Cindy, but I'm going to give it a shot. I know you guys are all awake because Cindy just keeps saying the whole time. Awesome. I have to go to the call. Okay. So basically, I started with Plexus last April, the end of last April. And I started for the products. I just wanted to lose some weight, and some other awesome things happened in my life with the Plexus, so I decided I was going to go ahead and join. But even when I joined, I was going to go ahead and join so I could get the cheapest price, like a lot of you probably did too. I was the same. I was not going to do this business. I've done network marketing businesses before. I didn't make any money. I had to stock a bunch of product. I went into debt to stock this product, so I was not going to get into that again. So, but these products were awesome, so sure, I wanted the cheapest price. So I went ahead and signed up. Well, a week into my family taking our Slim, my husband's sleep apnea went away. Well, that was a huge thing to me. It was huge because I would sit there and watch him sleep, and he couldn't catch his breath. And I kept thinking, when is the last time he's going to breathe in? That's horrible. But a week in on the Slim, and that went away, I was sold. Because then I started thinking, if this is happening for us, and we're just two regular people, imagine all these people that are really, really hurting badly. They're in pain, just digestive issues that are in the hospital, in and out of the hospital. Imagine what this could do for people. So, and then, I started hearing about people like Lori that were living in a Atascadero, stay-at-home mom for 23 years, 25 years, and I thought, if she can do it, why can't I? There's no reason I can't, right? Jesse?
That's right, girlfriend.
That's right. Yeah. Can I get an amen? All right. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for it. But what I did not do is I didn't listen to all of my Plexus leaders, all of these diamonds in the company, telling me, these are the things that you need to do. Simple. It's very, very simple. These are the things that you need to do. Well, I've been in network marketing before, so, I kind of knew what I needed to do. I could go out and talk to my friends and tell them about it. So I didn't make a list. I was in that group, that Hawaii group. I was one of those people that had not made a list. And at that time, I had been in about 6 months, and I hadn't made my list yet. And I had gone silver by then, I think. And I really wasn't rolling at all because I was trying to do it my own way. So in the Y group, one of the first things that you had to do was make your list. So I just said, fine, I'm going to go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it all the way. So I made my list. What I did is I went through my cell phone and I wrote down every name in my cell phone. I went through my Facebook list. I wrote down every name in my Facebook list. My email, every single name. It didn't matter. I had a hard time too, because some of those names I was going, I could never talk to them about Plexus. I just couldn't do it. Either I didn't think enough of myself, or I just didn't think they needed it. But I forced myself to write down every single one of those names. So I ended up with a list of 375 people. So that's a pretty darn good list to start with. But even though you have that list, I had that list sitting there right in front of me, and I couldn't get going through it because it was, at that point, it was so big, then it made it kind of overwhelming. Now what do? Well, one of the next things in this group was to qualify that list. Now, I've heard from other diamonds in the company that they just kind of say, pick your top 20. Who would you most like to work with that are on your list? That wasn't enough for me, because I could, for different reasons, I could go to my list and say, well, that's one of those people in my top 20. I would have had a huge list of the first people that I wanted to talk to. So that didn't work for me. But what Lori sent out was there's 4 different ways to qualify, or 4 different categories, I guess, that you can qualify the people on your list with. So I just wanted to quickly go over those for you, because it really helped me a lot, because it really narrowed down, these are the people that I need to talk to first. So the first thing on there is everyone on your list who is a person of credibility and influence should receive a check mark next to their name. So it's 4 check marks essentially that you want to go through your list and give them a check mark. So anyone who's a person of credibility. What it says is a person of credibility and influence can call their contacts and say, I've got a great financial opportunity, I want you to take a look at it. Their contacts will look, hold on, I lost my spot. Their contacts will look at the opportunity just because that person called them. And that's what credibility and influence does. So that's number 1. Number 2, everyone on your list who is success-minded and positive should receive a check mark next to their name. That says, let me give you a big tip. Don't chase after negative people. We have all come across them where oh, have you heard of Plexus? Oh yeah, that's not going to work for me. Oh, but yeah, I know it'll work because of this and this. No, it's not going to work for me. It's one of those things that you just have to learn to let go of that, because I would guarantee you, once they start hearing from all of their friends, oh my gosh, these Plexus products that I'm on, they're so awesome, they are going to come back to you. And it's happened with almost everyone that has ever said no to me. They've come back to me later and said, all right, tell me a little bit more about it, or have me sample. So absolutely just let go of the negative people for sure. The third thing is everyone on your list who is entrepreneurial and business-minded should receive a check mark next to their name. And the last one is that if you know that they have the money to get involved. And that's a tough one, because you don't want to think about people, that's not a fair way to judge people. But really, if they don't have the money to get involved, then they just can't do it. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. And you might be able to teach them a way to start making their money right away so that they can pay for their products, and that is great. But I would leave that for later, after you've got your business rolling. At first, really starts with the people who are ready to take advantage of the opportunity. So that was the second thing, was qualifying my list. Once I had that qualified, then I was like, oh, okay, well, now I only have, 20, like it said, 20 people that have 4 check marks. I can contact 20 people. So I went ahead and started contacting them. And you'll never guess, a lot of those people wanted to hear more about my business. Well, as far as contacting goes, I was doing a lot of email contacting, but I don't feel like I was doing it correctly. I was doing more of a referral-based approach, where I was saying, I've started this business, we have these health and wellness products, they're great for diabetics. Do you know anybody who might benefit from these products? And although I did get some response from that, I actually, after I started doing that, I heard Eric Worre do a training on contacting people in this generation, in this time. And he said a much better way to do it is text someone. Text someone and say, hey, I've started this thing, I'm really excited about it. Do you want to meet me for coffee next week so I can tell you about it? It'll take like 15 minutes. Most people, if they're your friends, are going to say, sure, I'll meet you for coffee. If nothing else, just to catch up. And you can even say that, if nothing else, just to catch up. And most people will do it. And so it's just an easy way. And then text is also easy because it goes right to their phone. You know they got it because everyone's checking their text messages. So it's a great way to contact people. There is also email. There's also Facebook messaging. But really, texting, Eric Worre anyways was saying that he has gotten wonderful response from that, and I absolutely agree. Once I actually started contacting people, and Jill does this a lot, invite them to coffee. So many people will come out. And also, because it's not just about the Plexus business, they want to catch up with you too. So it's a great way to contact people. And then following up, and you've heard a lot about it already tonight, using the power plan that's been shown, and putting it in a binder, that's one way, that's how I kind of started. I started using my planner as well. So find a method that works for you. There's a lot of people now that are all electronic. They want to have everything electronic. If that works for you, go for it. Just make sure that you're doing it. Because it's very, very important. If you don't follow up with people, you are going to leave them. They're not going to contact you back. But follow-up is also a very professional thing to do. When you're contacting your friends, they know that you're in a business and that you're talking to them about a business. Well, if I were to go out to some other business place and say I'm going to look for a car, if that car salesman calls me to check in on me, I'm not going to say, oh, why is he calling me? I went to him. I wanted business, or I wanted his information that he could give me. So it's a very professional thing to do. So if you just contact them back or follow up with them and just say, hey, how are you doing? Or what did you think? Did you take a look at the information I gave you? It's going to make you be a professional in their eyes. You are not bugging them. They want you to do it. So one of the things for me, I know one of the things that I'm supposed to be talking about is belief. One of the things that that happened to me was I started getting in this business. And I started hearing about, oh, well, you can do this, you can do Facebook posts, you can do this, you can do that, have events, have this. And I let it completely overwhelm me. What is the right thing to do? I always want to know what's the right thing to do, what's the right thing to say. I want to do everything perfectly. And I really let it overwhelm me to the point where I just did nothing. And one of the CDs that I was listening to said, you know what, anything that you want to do in this world can be broken down into 3 steps. You want to learn how to fly a plane, you need to learn how to take off, how to keep that plane in the air, and how to land. Yeah, there's lots of little steps in between that are pretty important, but those are the 3 basic things. For network marketing, the 3 things that you need to do is use your products yourself, recommend or share the products with your friends, family, people that you come across, and then sponsor them into the business as well. So 3 things: use, recommend, and sponsor. That's easy, guys. It's really easy. There are lots of little steps in between. But you can learn those. See, that's what's wonderful about this business. You can earn while you learn. So if you go talk to your friend and you say the wrong thing, completely blow it, that's okay. Because, again, that friend, you might be able to go back to them later and they might say, oh, yeah, okay, that makes more sense now that you figured it out yourself. So even if you completely blow it, it's okay. Just get out there and just like Cindy was saying, just do it. Just talk to your friends, tell them about it. Share your excitement, especially when you're brand new. People are not going to want to know, oh, Plexus has, what do they read? The green chromium, green coffee extract, this does this does that. They don't want to know that. They want to know, you know what? This thing made me lose 17 pounds. This stuff took away my husband's sleep apnea. I am so excited to share this with you. They're going to follow your excitement. They're not going to want to know all of the little things, all of the little details about your products. So just be excited and talk to people. So the 3 things. And then the last thing is actually about your belief. I put a video recently on our Facebook group, and some of you may have seen it already, but I want to repeat it because I feel like it's really important to me. So when I started kind of questioning, can I do this? Is it true? Is it real? Is it really helping people? I had to stop. And I had to think for myself, do I know anyone who has been helped by these products that's feeling better today because of these products? Well, yeah, if I don't know them personally, I'm seeing a whole lot of testimonies from people on Facebook. I'm hearing about them from friends. Yeah, I know a lot of people that have been helped by these products. So the products work. There's no question about that. They do work. Then I started thinking about, do I know anyone who's made money in this business? Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I have myself, even if I made $10 in this business, I've made some money in this business. So there is the ability to make money in this business. So the products work, the business works. The only thing left is, how do I feel about myself? Do I feel like I can do it? So one of the books that I read that I recommend to everybody, not even just in network marketing, but actually at the high school. I want to teach at the high school to start giving this to their kids. That's The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. This book is amazing. And it's funny because it really has gone along with the philosophy that I've had all my life. And it's, don't think small. Set high goals for yourself. If you set low goals for yourself, that's where you're going to go. But think big. Why not? Even if you don't reach it, you'll get further than if you hadn't set those high goals to begin with. So the magic of thinking big is amazing to turn your belief in yourself around. Some of the other ones, this is funny because now Cindy had it, I know Lori had it up here, but Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. This book is awesome because it talks about network marketing in general, why it's such a great business, but then it also gives you very concrete instructions on this is how you build a business. So it's a short book, very easy read. I recommend even giving it to all your ambassadors because it will help tremendously. And along those lines, what I did last week, I'll say there, a career fair at the high school, and I did it with a friend of mine who's in Rodan Fields, which is skincare. And we basically did a network marketing table to introduce these high schoolers to the concept of network marketing. None of them know. Everybody knows what it is. You talk to your friends, you love a product, you talk to your friends, you tell them what it is, and they love it, they tell their friends. So the concept is simple, but they had never heard network marketing, what that is, what that means as a business. And I was so excited to share with them. So many of the kids came up and they were like, oh yes, I'm going to the meeting tonight. Oh yeah, Sid's rocking at high school. but really, I mean, I tell my kids, my daughter wants to be a teacher. That's awesome. We need more great teachers in this country. We need them. Be a teacher. But you're not going to make a whole lot of money. You may not be able to support yourself. Find something that you can do. Find something that you can do that you don't have to worry about money. And you can teach because you love it. And trust me, you will be a better teacher in the end. So I did take an excerpt from Rock Your Network Marketing Business, and I was handing it out to them. And it basically tells you a few reasons why network marketing is awesome. So I had some left over from that, and I'm going to leave them up here. If anybody wants a copy, you are welcome to it. So I'm going to leave those up here. But some of the other things that I did to increase my own belief is I listened to a lot of CDs, I've read a lot of books. Some of the ones that were my favorite, and actually the kids already have their favorites too because we listen to them in the car all the time. But Jim Rohn, and that's R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn, oh my gosh, this guy will blow you away. He will just tell you why network marketing is so awesome. Richard Bliss Brooke, who does the four-year career, I think it's called. Eric Worre, I don't have the book, but it's the one that Cindy showed to GoPro. He'll tell you why network marketing is the business of the future. And he said, all industries right now are moving to that model, where you're getting paid for the amount of work you put in. Well, if you're going to go out and get a job out in industry somewhere, and that's how they're going to pay you, they're going to pay you based on a quota or reaching something, why not work for yourself and do the same thing? So, anyways, so that's building your belief in network marketing. Building your belief, as far as Plexus is concerned, if you want to build your belief in this business, go watch diamond documentaries. I will get ready in the morning and I'll just have those diamond documentaries rolling while I'm getting ready. Because that really just gets a fire burning into me. Because so many, again, you look at these people and they tell you all of their history, and some of them have had really hard pasts, and yet they're able to do it. So that really builds my belief that I can do it. I personally, Rocky Bedell, can do it. And if I can do it, trust me, any of you guys can do it. So watching diamond documentaries, as far as the products are concerned, read those testimonies. Just like Cindy was saying, go out on the Slim and Healthy Success and read the testimonies and see what these products are doing for people. And then you'll start seeing your friends on it and their testimonies. So you'll start hearing local testimonies. So these are people that you personally know. So that will build your belief in the products themselves. And then another thing Cindy had mentioned was studying the products, studying the actual ingredients that are in the products and why they're helping so many people, why they're changing lives. And once you have all those are all tools in your own tool belt. tools that when you go talk to somebody, again, you don't want to puke Plexus on people. You want to just give them, you know, a little bit of information, kind of hook them on it and get them wanting to ask you questions. But you want to have that information in reserve because they might ask specific questions. So if you have that, it's just going to make you that much more sure of yourself and being able to talk to people and share with them. So that's really all I had. So for me, like I said, what really turned my business around was finally listening to my upline. They were telling me, this is what you have to do. They know, guys. They're at the top. So obviously they got there. They know how to do it. So I had to just get away from my own, you know, I was blocking myself basically. I had to step aside and say, I'm just going to listen to what they say. They did because they've made it to where I want to be. And that's how I got to where I am, and hopefully we'll continue to move forward. So that's how
Okay. Wow, there's a lot more of you than I knew here. So I'm sitting on the front row. I didn't see you all. I'm Jill Whaley, and Lori did a little introduction here. So I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about my story and how it's been going for me. I've been in Plexus for about 14 months now, and I went silver my first month, and guess what? I'm still silver. Woo! But that's what I'm going to talk about, because I thought, you know, I went silver my first month, and now my business is just going to go, boom, I'm going to be diamond, you know, in 13 months. That seems like that's the average time, you know. And so that was my expectation. And when that didn't happen, I kind of tripped myself up. I started thinking, man, this isn't as easy as they said it was going to be. And so my belief kind of went like this. But at the same time, I knew that God had put Plexus in my life when I needed it. I needed it for my health. I had adrenal fatigue and leaky gut syndrome. And right away, I had results with the products. But more than that, I was right at a crossroads where I have 2 young girls. I'm a single mom. And I was either going to have to go out and get a job or find some way to supplement my income. And I prayed about it, and I interviewed, and I was even offered several different jobs. But none of them were just right. Like, I would think about, you know, someone's going to have to take my kids to school or pick them up, and I just knew it wasn't right timing. And so I just kept praying and believing. And God brought Plexus to me. And it's actually, my sponsor is Charlotte Seams. I don't know if you've seen her in the Facebook groups. She's in Oklahoma. I was a longtime reader of her blog and her email newsletter, and she just put a blurb on it the very first time she did. I read it, and it struck a chord with me. I questioned it to death because I was like, network marketing? Never. I had done that before, and I said I would never do it again. But this has been so different from my previous experience. So what I want to tell you tonight is that it's really, really important to have long-term vision. When I first signed up, I was in my first 3 weeks maybe, and I realized, okay, I'm gonna really work this business because you know, it's been provided for me. And so I signed up to have a booth at a bridal fair 7 months down the road, and I paid good money for it, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. But I do recommend having a long-term vision, because I knew I had paid good money. And I was going to be at that event representing Plexus 7 months down the road, no matter what was going to happen in between. And so, yeah, it kind of went like this, and I was kind of getting a little bit down. But we started this training group, and I was in this training group that Rocky was talking about. And, you know, we hear those terms, income-producing activity, all the time, right? And to me, it was nebulous. In my brain, I was like, yeah, that's what you do when you work Plexus. And I kept coming up and kept coming up and kept coming up, and I was like, okay, am I really doing income-producing activity? Because my income's not reflecting the activity that I'm doing. So what am I doing, right? So I messaged Lori, and I said, I have a confession to make. I said, I'm sitting here thinking that maybe all this work that I've been doing really isn't income producing. And she messaged me back and she said, your business just turned a corner. She said, I'm going to tell you what income producing activity is, but that means I'm going to lose you as my assistant. And it's happening. Wow, okay. So it's so important that we are clear. I'm what we call a type 4, or I'm a green, if you guys read the color book. I love to research. I love to look at things. I love to help people. So I'm a little bit yellow too. But I'm also very black and white. I need to know what I need to be doing and what's not going to be getting results. So we were going to have this really awesome flyer to hand out to you tonight, but it's in Jeff's truck. So I found it. I found it on Lori's computer here, so I'm going to show it to you because this is a tool that I want you guys to be able to use. I put this together.
And we'll post it.
We'll post it in a group so you guys can use it.
But I did print 60 copies.
Yeah. Lori has some for you. So if this turns on.
It's getting there. It's warming up.
Okay. All right. So in the meantime, I will tell you a little story. I would get stuck with the same people. I had this group, I had my list, and I'd contact these people, and I would contact them again, and the next month I would contact them again, and again, and I wasn't really adding too many people to my sales funnel, because I was like, I've already contacted these people, and they say that everybody's going to eventually sign up, so if I just keep contacting them, eventually, right? Well, I heard this story the other day, and I did post on Facebook, so it might be a review for you guys, but it's so helpful to me. Okay, if you were a diver and you were sitting on the end of a dock and there was another diver in the water, they'd just come up with a bucket of oysters, and there are 100 oysters in this bucket. And they told you there are five pearls. There are pearls in 5 of these oysters. Would you take your bucket and, pick out the first oyster and cut it open and, oh, no pearl in it. So would you just hold that oyster and keep it real warm, for a long time and hope that it's going to grow a pearl? Or would you toss it out and go and find another oyster and cut it open? There's 5 in that bucket, right? And so why did I keep holding my oyster, hoping it was going to grow a pearl, when I could have just gone out and done some of this income-producing activity to find those other people who are just dying for these products? So, here's my list. What income-producing activity is. It is phone calls, emails, text messages, coffee dates and conversations, follow up with potential and current customers, Facebook posting, asking for referrals, setting appointments, 3-way calls, inviting to meetings, local or online, and I'm sure there are more things. These were just off the top of my head. But what it is not, it's not organizing your desk. It's really not watching training videos. Okay, and I'll explain this in a minute. It's not reading personal growth material, scrolling Facebook, participating in Facebook group discussions, answering questions from other ambassadors, leaving your business card randomly around town, ordering supplies and business tools, and my last one was shopping for Plexus swag, because, that's not going to build your business. So why I said watching training videos and reading personal growth material is not an income-producing activity, even though that would help grow your team. I also didn't put on there training your team, but I would put that under what it is not, because that's where I got stuck. I was spending all my time in the lower half of this document. My business was not growing. So as soon as Lori helped me to realize what income-producing activity was, I started spending my time in the top half of this list, and like she said, my income doubled. Immediately, basically, that very next month. So if you want your business to grow, my recommendation is to print this off and tape it everywhere and realize that this is where you can spend your time. It's simple, really. Isn't it simple? Those are all just contacting people, just talking to people, sharing what we have. I mean, this has been so life-changing for so many of us. I was at a networking event today that I go to monthly, and it's a group of women, and we get a little 30-second commercial that we can share about our business. And so I've always said the same thing, helps balance blood sugar and this and that, same thing, elevator speech. And I thought, these ladies have heard this for 9 months now. How am I going to switch this up? And I was so excited. I had just been driving there to San Luis. Oh, it's going to make me cry. And I was just counting my blessings because there are so many people, even in just my little circle, my little family, whose lives have been changed. And I thought that's what they need to hear. That's what they need to know. So I stood up and I said, hi, my name is Jill Whaley. I'm with Plexus Worldwide. And I'm going to tell you why I'm excited today. And I told them my grandma, who needs 2 knee replacements but can't have them because of risk of stroke, walked around Costco and Target yesterday without her cane because she's been taking fast relief for 1 month. And her pain is manageable. It's amazing. It's life-changing for her. My dad is off his heartburn medicine and his triglyceride levels are the lowest they have been in years. I mean, ever since I can remember. My mom doesn't have migraine headaches anymore. My adrenal fatigue symptoms are gone. My daughter's acne is clearing up. My other daughter has normal digestion for the first time in her life. My friend just told me after 3 days on Slim, she's sleeping so deep she doesn't know what to do with herself. But I just shared these stories with them and I said, what could Plexus do for you? And I sat down. And it was really quiet. And people were listening and they were thinking, and guess what? 2 people emailed me after that meeting and they said, okay, we were listening and we want to know more. So that's the power of doing income-producing activity, sharing what it's doing for you or people that you know. It's really going to make an impact on their life. So that's what I have to share with you tonight.
Facts tell, stories tell. Yeah, that's true, definitely. Well, it's 8:30, and so I'm really happy to be those. Oh, yeah, I have prizes. Here's my prizes. I just have to figure out how to give the prizes out. I know, right?
No injuries.
Okay, so how about who drove the furthest? AG. Okay, she won't poke the one the furthest. So do you have this? Okay, how about, first I gotta tell you a quick story. Is Jessica Ridner here? I don't know who that is. Or is she on anybody's team that's in this room? Jessica Ridner? Okay, I went downtown today. I just want to talk about the importance of consistency. I talked to somebody about Plexus. I was a third-party validator for Jessica Ridner. She said, I've seen her Facebook posts, I've been reading her posts, I trust her, I'll call her tomorrow. So, that's just, I was going to make Jessica Ridner really happy. She was going to get a prize. But, okay, how about who has to get up the earliest in the morning tomorrow? So, who gets up at 5?
I'm getting 4:30.
Okay, how about 4:30? 4:30?
Like 5 days.
Okay. I only have 2 more things. Who made 5 new contacts today for their business? You did?
I do every day.
You do every day. Okay. You win a prize. Okay, awesome.
Who just promoted?
Who just promoted this last month?
To what?
Did a rank promotion this last month?
Ranked up.
Who said you ranked up this month? Okay. So thank you so much, everybody that shared. Thank you, Cindy. That was amazing and awesome. And Cindy is watching for her Emerald announcement because it was like, in a minute.